Another way I can handle collecting and populating my data for a 2D array is to declare the array at the beginning of our program, and notice how I have right here the comma. I can say, okay, I know I want 9 pieces of information. So if that's the case, I'm going to go outside here and say, okay, 3 and 3, let's make it a 3 by 3 array. Then what I can do is I can ask the user to input this information. This is similar to one of the projects you did with a single dimensional array, but we're going to try a little bit of a different approach to demonstrate this. I did leave the button here the same. I'm going to rechange this back. I'm going to just name this array 1, 2, 3, so that way they know a little bit better that they're talking to each other. It's a little better naming. I'm going to go out here in my form. I'm going to double click on the form to indicate that something's going to happen here on the form load. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to write to both the row and the column position. So inside of two-dimensional arrays, we can do this with a for loop, but we also need to be writing to the row and column position at the same time. So that looks something like this. Instead of using I for my for loop, I'm going to use R for the row and C for the column, mainly just to keep the two straight. So I'm going to start with for R equals 0 to array 1, 2, 3 dot get upper bound. Since we're still working with our traditional positioning here, I'm going to use 0, and then I think I might have to use -1, but we're going to try it without it. There's our first for loop. Then I need a second for loop to write to the column position. So we'll go for C equals 0 to array 1, 2, 3 dot get upper bound. But instead of using 0 this time, because 0 is controlling the row, we're going to use 1 to control the column, because it is possible to not have the same amount of data in a row as it is in the column, which we'll show you when we get to delimiters. Then I'll hit enter there. From here, I'm going to go and collect data, and I'll do that in the next video.